How's it going, guys? Welcome to Wednesday's upload. I got it versus someone against what? No, against someone by the name of Phoenix5M. Took it at the stream where I wanted to try out Stunt and Wheatley on the same team, so I figured, we'll bring them along. We'll toss Cobalion in there as well, because Cobalion and the Lottie twins are just like the best with each other, like guaranteed. And since I went offensive on my last upload, I figure I'll go more defensive and have my screening Latios along for this one. So I'm kind of rambling, but we'll play that back right now. Okay, so as you can see, the usual team: Kabutops, Latios, Victini, and then just three others, just to vary it up since it's live. I don't want to be using the same team. People can counter team. It'll get stale pretty easily. But looking at his team, I'm a little intimidated by it because he's got a lot of heavy hitters. He's got the Hydreigon, he's got the Tyranitar, he's got the Volcarona. If any of them set up, then that could be my ass. So my job right here is going to be to set up the Stealth Rocks. That's the main thing I can do. That is pretty much the only thing I'll be doing with this Kabutops this match, unfortunately, because he's going to go for the Dark Pulse. He went for that, probably just because he wanted to go for the flinch as opposed to going for Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor. He's seen the set, he watches my videos, he knows I have a Sash, so he might as well try to go for the flinch on the off chance. I go for the Aqua Jet. It's probably not going to help, but some damage is better than no damage, in that situation. So anyway, going to Cobalion. This is a very, very, very key misplay I make here. I go for the Iron Head and then the Swords Dance. I should have done it the other way around. I should have gone for the Swords Dance and then the Iron Head, because this Reuniclus is going to come back to bite me in the ass later. And I go for the Swords Dance now, thinking he's going to switch out. Or not switch out, thinking that he's going to think that I'm going to switch out. And, he's probably just going to go for something that won't kill me in one shot. But, fuck, he kills me off right there, and that sucks, because that is really going to come into play later, that lack of damage that I had there. So I'm going to go into Latios, since he can't really touch me. I don't think I've seen any of his other moves, but I've seen Focus Blast. I'm thinking he might have Life Orb instead of Lefty, so he might be a more calm-minding offensive set with that defense bulk, that set. But he goes into Shuckle, and I'm like, alright, I'm going to Magic Coat, I'm going to bounce that fucking Toxic, Encore, or Taunt, whatever the fuck you're going to do, and he goes for the sub. So, already right off the bat, this is not really a conventional Shuckle to me. I know it's got lefties, but that's all really is standard about this. So I'm like, alright, I'm going to go for the Magic Coat because you're going to go for it behind a sub, right? Right? And he goes for the Power Split, and I'm like, what? Come on, what am I going to bounce back? This is really stupid. I don't know, it's like one of my first matches, I was like, I'm going to keep Magic Coating. And I tried it twice, I was like, fuck it, just screw it, I'm not going to get anything done. So I might as well go for the Reflect. If he has Power Share, he probably has at least one attack. He's probably not meant just for crippling me. So he goes for the Rock Slide. Not going to do too much because my Latios is timid, 0 attack, IVs and all that shit. Does nothing. As you're going to see, it's going to do pretty much nothing to the Zoroark as well. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it did like a little more than 10%, like Life Orb will do a little bit less. But not really a good matchup for him. I don't know why he decided to waste his sub there. I don't know what his last move is. But he goes to Volcarona, I guess, as fodder. I don't know what he was predicting, probably Focus Blast, or maybe he just didn't want to stay in. I don't know what was going through his mind. It was a good matchup defensively, but not necessarily offensively. He's not going to get anything done. We're just going to be there all day. So he goes into Haxorus now after that thing dies, and I'm like, alright, this thing's probably Scarf. I kind of want to double check, though, and maybe with the Reflect Up, I can maybe take this. I don't know. And then I remember that Zoroark is paper thin, and I'm like, of course not. Of course I can't take this. I don't even remember if I got the Reflect Up. I was pretty sure I did. Looking at the damage on this Outrage, once I send in my Victini because he's locked into it, I don't think it's, what am I trying to say? I think I had the Reflect Up, but Zoroark just, sucks at taking hits. So, I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt now that the Trick Room is up. I don't want to go for the V-Create because I know it's not going to kill him right off the bat. Zen Headbutt does a nice amount, though, so he's going to go for his third Outrage because he got a 3-turner. And, yeah, I'll take that pretty well, which is nice. Always good. Always good. Kind of rambling a little bit. I'm sorry. A little bit. Just, okay, V-Create takes it out. I have a couple turns of Reflect left. I think I might have one more if I'm not mistaken. I got some Trick Room turns left as well. Might as well go for the V-Create to make myself faster in Trick Room. You know how that whole thing goes. And he's going to bring in Shuckle now. Now, Shuckle is the slowest motherfucker in the game, bar none, guaranteed. I think there's one thing that ties with it. Maybe, I think Munchlax is the same base speed. But rest assured, I could probably go for 6 V-Creates, and this thing would still outspeed me in Trick Room. So it's unfortunate that he gets the Power Share off first, because that means he does cripple me, as well as, what I'm going to do to anything else. I didn't do enough to the point where lefties won't give him enough for a sub. So, you know, he's going to get off a sub here, and Life Orb Recoil is going to wear me down to 1 HP. I think this is the point in the match where, what was it? It was live, and I said, when I was making the set, Rick was like, take 20 off of HP. That way you only take 39 from Life Orb. And it comes into play here. It really, really does. Like, if I had 400 or more HP, I would have died right there. But because of that, you know, I'm able to get off one last V-Create on T-Tar, which really doesn't come into play, but it's like, hey, thanks, buddy, for telling me to take off the 20 HP Vs. You know, it really comes in handy taking less recoil. Plus, you got an odd number. You know, you can take more Stealth Rocks, switch-ins and such. He doesn't have them up, thank God. But V-Create, I guess, does a modest amount for the power share reductions and such, so it's whatever. What happens next? I really don't remember. I've only seen this match like once since then. Right, Shaman comes in, and you know, it kind of just puts Victini's whole little 1 HP spiel in vain, because he's actually just going to leave it in and take the Seed Flare, you know, so he can lock in whatever else he has on something else. So, I have a Life Orb Shaman, so regardless of what kind of build of T-Tar he is, he's not going to appreciate taking a base 140 grass move, and down it goes. So, Hydreigon, you know, comes in. I do have the hidden power Ice, but because it's not stab, Shaman is not exactly a powerhouse. I'm not going to be able to take him out, and that kind of sucks. Had I gotten a crit on that Aqua Jet on the second turn, that would have been good. But I think this Hydreigon is specs just because I outspeed it. I'm not seeing Life Orb recoil or anything like that. And it makes sense, so, you know, Sandstorm's going to wear him down. Now I have Wheatley. I think Wheatley is my last one. So I figure he's locked in a Fire Blast. I might as well go for the Light Screen. And if Sandstorm doesn't take him out this turn, I can also get the Reflect setup as well. I don't know why. I don't know. Might as well just have screens up just for the sake of screens and, you know, just do whatever. I think I forgot what his last two were at this point. But what I forgot is that Shuckle's going to die to rocks anyway. Oh, he had the Fire Blast burn, you know, just to put salt in the wound. This is where things really start going in his favor. Shuckle dies. He's at, like, no health whatsoever. So, switches it in now. Thankfully, you know, Sandstorm does not rack up there. But going back to Cobalion, where I switched up Iron Head and Swords Dance, that should have been the other way around. Because if I got a boosted Iron Head off on him, you're going to see that's going to come into play in a little bit. Because he sets up the Calm Mind. Dragon Pulse does probably around 40-ish% maybe. Just because it's stab. Latios is more of an attacker than Latias. So, I go for another Dragon Pulse. That looks to me like if I got a Swords Dance and I tried hitting it with that Iron Head instead, that would have killed right there. But it doesn't. I was kind of fishing for a crit on that last turn. Don't know how else I would have fished for it. I was just kind of, you know, praying in any general direction that, you know, that 12%. 12, 6, something like 6? I think it's 6. Could be 12. I don't know. It's one of the two. Anyways, that number did not kick in, and he's just going to recover up, you know, stall out Sandstorm and burn. I'm taking a lot of recoil. Not necessarily recoil. After turn effects is what I'm trying to say. Brings me low enough to the point where I can go for Dragon Pulse in Vayne, and I won't do shit because he already boosted up and he's going to take me out. The Psychic, leaving him with the narrow 0-1. So that misplay right at the beginning of the match, I did not think that would bite me in the ass, but just goes to show you, you know, you shouldn't set up early game. It really did end up costing me the match on this one. But it was still an interesting match nonetheless. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And that should do it out of me for Wednesday. I think there was something I wanted to talk about. I might as well do it while I'm here. To Be the Man asked me to plug the fact that we're going to be doing a third Battle for Charity. I'll leave links to that video and the Battle for Charity channel in the description. Don't come to me about details about it. He's the one running it. I'm just, you know, here to provide you with insight on that in case you're interested about it. You can go check that out. Is that it? I think that's it. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.